Uh, Hi, everybody. I'm Officer Cherry. I'm the recruiter for City of Charleston Police Department. Thank you all for being here with me today. I'm really excited about this police agency, and I'll give you various reasons why throughout this presentation. So Charleston Police Department is the largest municipal agency in the state of South Carolina. We have 456 officers, which if you compare to outside the state, such as Charlotte or Austin PD or wherever, I mean, they have thousands, right? But for us, that's a pretty big number. The nice part about that size, though, is that you can actually know your coworkers a bit. And there's a lot of potential for growth and opportunity because people actually know who you are. So you can build a reputation, you can network, and those things are very important when you're trying to cultivate a leadership role within an organization. When you're just a number, it's a little bit harder. You take a service exam and you can't really stand out. And so I like that about this organization. So that's the number one thing. Second thing is that people like is we're highest paid in the state. So if you're considering staying in South Carolina, I will say that it's really important not only to grow professionally as a leader, but also to grow financially. People feel very stagnant when they are financially pigeonholed at a certain rate. And so what we do is we actually have pay stubs built into our process. So you spend 6 years, you can actually test at 4 for senior police officer. But if you, for some reason, don't pass the test or whatever happens, you still have 6 years of progress financially. In the meantime, you're also developing professionally, meaning you can put in for other units. You can go to various trainings. I mean, there's all these opportunities within that. But the financial growth is also important, I think. And then we have excellent training. So we have a police corps, which is a 12-week program before the academy. So South Carolina is one of the only states left that still has a centralized justice academy. And what that means is that every police officer in the state of South Carolina has to go to this one academy that's in Columbia. But one of the things that's really important for our agency is that we want to develop leaders. We're not sending you there and saying, hey, I hope you pass, good luck. If you don't, oh, well, we don't care about you. The investment is we spend a lot of time recruiting and testing and getting to know people. And so we cultivate your skill set right off the bat for 12 weeks, giving you soft and hardcore skills and also getting you ready for that Justice Academy so that when you do go to the academy, you're well above par, you're ready to go. We have almost a zero attrition rate. I don't know of anyone that has actually failed the Justice Academy in my 2.5 years. So statistically, it's been very successful with the training before and then getting through the Justice Academy. I'm one of the instructors in police corps, so is the supervisor for recruitment and retention, Sergeant Gibson, who's our new recruitment supervisor. Sergeant Mitchell is now Lieutenant Mitchell, and she now runs community outreach and oversees some other aspects of the department. So you can just see an example of growth. So after that, you go to field training. It's 14 weeks. We are with an officer who gives you patrol tactics, etc. In the meantime, too, which is nice about us, we assign you a mentor as soon as you get to the police department, and that person's able to answer questions, guide you, encourage you. And then obviously anyone that you come in contact with throughout the recruitment process is also going to be a mentor. We have a background investigator who's named Detective Rao. We have an admin specialist named Chantel Johnson. You have me as a recruiter. And like I said, Sergeant Gibson. We're here 24/7 throughout your career as well to help develop whatever you need. And we have a lot of answers because we kind of know the inner workings of the agency. Some things about us too. We have a leadership academy. Once you get out into the world and you're a police officer and you're doing these things, it's unique to us. We bring trainings for free. So I've attended a bunch of them, which include gang training. We just did a narcotics training for people that are interested to get into narcotics eventually. We had the FBI come and teach about use of force. We had a retired Secret Service agent teach about multiculturalism. I just wrote a hate crime training through the Matthew Shepard Foundation down here from Washington, D.C. And those are just to name a few. They go throughout the year. And the whole purpose of that is to develop you as a leader and give you that training that you may need to sort of increase your purview, worldview. And then also we have a shadowing program. So when you're a police officer, let's say, hey, I'm really interested in narcotics. You can actually do up to 16 hours of shadowing with the narcotics unit. And so when you go for an interview, because everything we do is a panel interview and a submission of interest, et cetera, you can say, hey, not only did I attend these trainings and not only have I been interested in investigations and taken upon myself to do investigations, but I also shadowed narcotics. I know what it's about. I know what it entails. This is why I'm the most competitive for the position. And that's just a little extra. So the things we do have that a lot of agencies have are, we have a take-home car, which most police departments have in South Carolina. You have to live within 25 radial miles of the police station in order to take advantage of that, to use it for personal use. It saves on your POV, which is personal vehicle, and it also pays, saves on gas. We also have a $25 a month reimbursement for the gym. Gym includes yoga, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, traditional gym, CrossFit, whatever you're interested in to really emphasize health. We have an in-house health nurse within the city. So if you're interested in nutrition, et cetera, that person's more than happy to assist with making nutritional plans and helping decide on exercise or whatever if you need that extra help. And then after 1 year of service in patrol, you also get up to $3,000 tuition reimbursement. So there are a lot of universities, including the Citadel, that has online master's degrees. So if that's something you're interested in pursuing, you get up to $3,000 a year towards that. Additionally, I will say that at CPD, we value education. So most of our officers, not all, but most have at least a bachelor's. Many have masters. I have an MBA. I think my sergeant has a master's degree as well. We have people with JDs. People come in with JDs and PhDs, et cetera. So it's a highly educated workforce. We lose about 10 to 15 officers a year to the feds. Reason for that is because of our exceptional training and our education level and professionalism. Charleston Police Department really focuses a lot on community involvement, social justice, social impact, and those are not just words. We went through a racial bias audit by choice, the city did. Many racial bias audits are conducted because of a dissent decree, but we decided to do it to try to get an idea of where we stand and maybe what we can improve upon. We have a transparency and data initiative that you can see on our website. We work with the community with community policing board that puts input about our policies and procedures. We've done a lot of socially impactful things that off the top of my head. We do a lot with gender identity. We've made policies and procedures on that. We do a class in the police corps about racism as it relates to the police. The hate crime training actually covered procedural justice and racial equality. And those things are important because modern day policing, you need to understand why people do the things they do, why we make the decisions that we make, because it makes you make better decisions and be a good police officer. And, yes, we arrest people, but there are also alternatives sometimes to decision making. Let me see, what else can I think? Application process. So anybody that's graduating, I don't know who's a senior here, but anybody that's a senior who's graduating, I would encourage you to apply now. If you graduate in June, some people I think graduate in December. I encourage you to do 6 months before you're going to graduate. Reason for that is you submit the online application with the necessary documents, which I can send you a list of if you want to email me or call me. And then you would come for testing. We have an expedited testing process. Many places make you come multiple times to take part in their testing. We try to only have you do that twice. The first time you're going to come for 3 days, you're going to do the physical agility, written exam, oral interview, and polygraph. If you pass all that, then you go into backgrounds. Make sure your references get back to our background investigator quickly. And then if that's cleared and you're good to go, then we give you a conditional offer. If you accept the conditional offer, then we do your psychological and medical. If you pass that, then you're given a job. And we'll hold your spot actually in what we call police corps, which I said was a pre-academy. Our next hire date is June the 14th. After that, it's going to be September the 20th. Another unique thing about Charleston Police Department is, let's say, okay, well, I didn't get done with all my classes by June. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. You graduate, you're like, oh man, I really should have applied to Charleston Police Department. So you apply, you get through everything, and you're like, well, the next class is until September, and it's March, April, May, June, July, let's say. We have what we call a bridge program. So we'll hire you on early, give you administrative tasks and duties to do within the organization and get you familiar with the people, organization, et cetera. And then you're accruing your leave, you're getting paid your salary. And then when police corps starts, we put you in that class. And that's offered oftentimes because of military. People are getting out of the military, and that didn't happen to fall when people have academy classes, and also college graduates. Some people are really gung-ho about putting in and making sure things happen, and then other people are like, well, I don't know what I want to do, I'm not sure, and that's okay. But that gives those people those opportunities to be like, oh, I should have put in for Charleston Police Department like Officer Cherry told me to. And then they do, and they can come and get hired on and kind of learn about the organization. Questions, anybody? I kind of flew through that, but.
Wonderful. I linked it in the chat, but Join CPD is the best place to learn all this information as well and get the application. Is that correct?
Yes. So if you go to joincpd.com, you can learn many things about the police department. You can also go to the city website. You can also email me. I'll put my email in here. It loves to take out the T. So if it does it, I'll redo it again. It did it. But, I'm happy to talk to your parents. I'm happy to talk to your boyfriend, girlfriend, cousin, whoever's influencing your decision-making. I am more than happy to talk to you. Laugh, but it's a huge decision. Getting into policing is a big cultural change. And sometimes people feel more comfortable, being able to get it from the source, and people are influenced by different friends, family, etc. And that's okay too. Education is the best tool in order to understand kind of what we do and why it's a good decision. And then I'm also willing to do a Zoom meeting, or you can come in and talk to me or call me. And like I was telling, I'm sorry, sir, what's your name?
It's Dewey, ma'am.
Dewey. So like I was telling Dewey, I may not be the greatest recruiter because I also tell people to do their research about organizations. Every police institution or privatized organization, whatever it is, has its own corporate culture, its own policies, its own procedures, its own leadership. And sometimes it doesn't fit. It's like putting in for college. The Citadel is a whole lot different than the College of Charleston. And some people want that Citadel experience, and some people want the College of Charleston experience. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with either. It's just, do I fit, in this organization? Am I going to be happy? And happiness, although no one believes me, happiness is actually a proponent of choosing a career in a life. Work is great, but you also have to fit it into all the other things you want to do, emotionally, professionally, spiritually, whatever it may be. I'm going to give you guys my phone number too. So what I would encourage all of you to do is whatever, if you're interested in policing, a thing about Charleston Police Department too is we're very diverse. We're pushing for women in policing very hard. This part of our recruitment strategy, minorities in policing, and lots of agencies say that, but they say it because it's popular now, and that is not a good reason to do things. The reason that you want people who are different is because we live in a society where people think differently, act differently, have different, international, local, whatever it may be. And you want people who have different experiences that can bring themselves to the table. So a lot of police agencies you'll see in videos or movies or on TV, you'll see where they're in their little suits and they have their little suitcases and they're stressing out, and the guy in the brimmed hat is screaming at them like they're in the Marine Corps, and they're running around and he's destroying their souls or doing whatever they're doing. And that's great, but with policing, that's great for the military, but for the policing, we're asking people to now be involved in the community, learn how to nurture people, learn how to talk to people. And so our philosophy is that we bring you in with the skill sets and qualities that you've acquired through life thus far, which are very meaningful. And then we build upon the personal attributes that you have in order to develop you into an excellent police officer and leader. Ripping you apart and then filling you like an empty vessel is not necessarily, I feel, the best model. And so Charleston Police Department and its progressive thinking has taken police corps and built upon your qualities to say, hey, this person is of value and excellent, and then giving you information, giving you training to just better the qualities you already had. If you just wanted vessels, then we could just hire anybody that came in, and that's not what we're doing. We're hiring, exceptional people to make, progressive and impactful change in law enforcement and in the community, forever. I'll retire, and hopefully people who come in now, from these information sessions or whatever, are going to lead policing in a direction it should be going. You know, and it's either going to be motivated by the agency, the society, the community, and people have to sort of get on the bandwagon and understand that other industries have been changing forever, you know, but I want to CBD, you know, we want to be the Airbnb and the Uber of policing. We don't want to be the GE who makes the same washing machine for 50 years and nothing ever changes. And here I am still making washing machines and everybody else is like figuring out clever ways to do, you know, other things, and the competitive advantage is over, right? Policing has a lot of opportunity. This is a great, I don't care what anybody says, this is an excellent time to be a police officer, particularly for this age group, because you can problem solve, you can, you know, be an activist within the organization, you can lead the organization. You know, the sky's the limit, because what has been a very sort of conservative space is now kind of open to new ideas. And that's a big deal, because you can make a huge footprint by having these creative ideas about what you want to implement, what you want to see. And every little thing you do, even even though it is a, you know, mildly conservative space, the little micro events that you take part in really make a huge impact. You know, I have people that come by. I had a good example. I had a female that I guess I'd handled like a drunk call. She just moved to town. She apparently, because I didn't check my LinkedIn very well, she LinkedIn me and was like, hey, I found you on LinkedIn. I just wanted you to know that what you did for me was so meaningful, and gave me the whole 6 paragraphs, right? And I read it, like 5 years later, which means I'm not great at LinkedIn. But, you know, the point of that story is that, you know, every little decision you make, every engagement you have is of value. And a lot of people, I think, in our current climate are being very negative about getting into law enforcement, or how it's bad, or how everybody hates you, or whatever. I don't find that to be true. I think if you approach people and you do the right thing and are led with, you know, integrity, honor, sort of the same values the Citadel teaches you, and that's what you're motivated by, I think you're going to have positive engagement. Yeah, they're going to be people that hate you. Unfortunately, guess what? They're probably people that hate you now. People have their own reasons for liking, disliking, whatever it may be. But, you know, being a police officer is a really honorable job. It's really impactful. It's really meaningful. And no matter what people say, you know, they do respect officers, because if they didn't respect police officers, they wouldn't be complaining about us in the first place, because we wouldn't be of value enough or be held to a standard enough for us to fall below a standard, because people expect greatness from people who are police officers, because they expect you to be better than the average person. And no matter who you ask, they actually feel it subconsciously. They may feel that way, but, you know, police officers are held to a higher standard because society expects more from us than just the average citizen. And I think that that's an honorable thing. And I'm really proud to do the job. And I think anyone and everyone can do it, minus the fact that it's not for everybody's personality. If you're not interested in having to be stern or be aggressive sometimes, then it's not for you. If you're not interested in talking to people, definitely not for you. If you need people to like you all the time, it's not going to be for you. And you have to have outlets that are positive as well, you know, because policing has some really dark moments, and you have to be able to find positive outlets and have a positive attitude, or it just corrodes your soul over time. But I mean, this police department, I've been in California, I've seen other agencies being recruited, and this police department just offers so many great things. Our chief is excellent. The city council loves us. The mayor really supports us. And the community really supports us. Like I said, we have our naysayers, but for the most part, the community is very supportive. And it's a beautiful place to live, work. That's my little soapbox, but I get very upset when everybody has all these negative opinions about policing and try to discourage people from doing it. And, you know, if you get in this family here, people help each other, support each other. There's always the little, you know, some people don't get along or whatever, but for the most part, everybody gets along here and tries to work together. You know, and I think the job is amazingly fun, and it's a pretty good paying job in Charleston. So